Hello everyone, today we're going to perform an experiment showing a synthesis reaction. But first of all, let us explain what a synthesis reaction is. So a synthesis reaction is a chemical reaction in which two or more simple substances combine to form a more complex substance. Today we're going to show the synthesis of magnesium oxide, which is represented by this equation here.
Okay, now let's get started. So first we will take a balance from the instrument shelf and the crucible from the containers shelf. Then we will put this crucible on the balance to measure its mass, which in this case is 88 grams. Now we are going to remove the crucible for a while and add 5 grams of magnesium to it. Then we're going to measure the combined mass, which is 93 grams.
Next, we're going to take a Bunsen burner from the instrument shelf and place the crucible on it. Now we're ready for a reaction. To get the reaction started, all you have to do is click the black knob at the bottom to the low flame. But before we start the reaction, we are going to double click the crucible and check the show contents option so that we'll get a view of what's happening inside the crucible during the reaction. Now we're going to start the reaction by clicking the black knob here once. Now we're going to wait for 1 minute to let the reaction occur. But what we'll do in the meantime is zoom in to observe the reaction. Now the color of magnesium looks gray here, but the actual color of magnesium is silvery white. So let's assume it's silvery white for now. So now we're going to wait till the sign of chemical reaction comes up. And the color of the substance just changed to white. Since color change is one of the signs of a chemical reaction, we can safely assume that the reaction has occurred.
So it's been 1 minute already, so at first we will turn off the burner by clicking 3 times. Okay, and then remove the crucible and wait for another minute to let it cool. Now remember this, by placing the crucible on the Bunsen burner earlier, we basically added oxygen to the magnesium inside the crucible. And this is shown by the equation here. As we can see, 2 moles of magnesium solid combine with 1 mole of oxygen gas to form 2 moles of magnesium oxide. Now 1 minute has passed, so we're going to measure the mass of the crucible again. And it's 96.289 grams. And to calculate the mass of the product, we just have to subtract that 88 grams, which is the mass of the crucible, from the 96.289 grams, which is the combined mass, and we get 8.289 grams for the final product, or magnesium oxide.
Now, we know the mass of magnesium, which is 5 grams, and the mass of magnesium oxide, which is 8.289 grams. So what about the mass of oxygen gas? Well, to calculate it, all you have to do is subtract the mass of magnesium from the mass of magnesium oxide, and we get 3.289 grams for the mass of oxygen gas. So now that we're done with the experiment, we're going to drag the crucible to the recycle bin. And this is the end of our presentation. We hope we gave you a good understanding of what a synthesis reaction is. Thank you very much for watching our presentation. Bye bye.